Dave, and we are live, man. Reminisce Show, man. Logik416, Mindbender, Supreme, man.
What up? Living the dream. How you doing, big brother?
We're just out here as usual, man. Reminiscing, connecting with the whole traditions of Sankofa, man. Connecting the past, present, and the future. All one connection. And keeping it true, man. Just creating space for dialogue, creating space for understanding, unpacking different topics as we go, as we flow. I already know what it is, man. But how are you doing, though, man?
Oh man, I'm okay, man. My body's healing. I'm growing. I'm a little disappointed in hip hop culture, but I'm happy. You know, it's new things are changing. Things are moving around. It's good. How about you? How about you?
Yo, man, I'm doing all right still, man. You know, like I said, like I feel like this whole summer I've just been in a state of just like reflection and just going inward and just, you know, figuring out what's like the next moves, you know.
Nice.
Moving forward to like the fall season, especially in the time of like COVID and all these different things, and what does all this mean, you know? And how can I be like water and just like flow and not be stagnant, you know? So it's a lot of like building, a lot of learning, a lot of unlearning.
Yes.
So that's just kind of like my like mindset. You know, like I have my birthday coming up in a few weeks. So
when is it? What day?
September 8th, man. September. You know what I'm saying? Virgo.
Oh, you're a Virgo. Yo, you're like Nas, yo. That's why, man. That's why I feel you, brother. Yo, you got that Nas energy.
You're already right. But I mean, there's several Virgos, man. Like,
yeah. What other Virgos do you know that you look up to?
I mean, there's Michael Jackson, there's Beyonce, there's so many others. Like, I can't remember right now. But
I think Ludacris is a Virgo.
Ludacris is a Virgo. Yes, they did that track, that Virgo track.
That's right. They did the song.
Who else is on that song now? Hold on, there's someone else too.
Yeah, who is that? Yeah, you're right. That's true.
But you know, so I'm naturally like in a reflective zone towards this time of the year, right? Because my birthday's the beginning of September, which would always mean like the first day of school or whatever. Like the summer's done, you're back in your regular routine. So I've always naturally been in a you know reflective mindset, but because of all the adjustments going on, I've been in this extended reflection. So
word.
But it's peaceful, you know. It's I think it's always good to like, you know, self-analyze, to just be aware of like your surroundings, what you're involved in, and you know, different things like triggers and just whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, you know, feeling blessed, just growing, just like what you're saying, you know. I'm excited to be getting older. I think like age is a beautiful thing, you know, and I be feeling like fine wine these days, you know. I mean, I just get better.
That's it. That's how I am too, man.
Real talk.
Yo, and going back to you being that one of the best sayings ever in life is to be water. Like, yo, and that's word to Bruce Lee, man. Bruce Lee dropped that jewel, and that is, I mean, not only as like that's a wonderful life lesson to always have active and just flow through your moments, keep it moving. That's what we say in hip hop, and it's like water is constantly moving when it's not stagnant. But like, I really look at that like shout out to RZA and like I want to be an old kung fu master when I get 75. I don't want to get stale and decrepit. I want to be like, yo, like wise master who's like, I'm calm and meditative, but like if I need to, bam, quick, like still got the body energy, but still, you know, have that old wisdom. So
absolutely, man.
I like how you said that. Excited to get older, yo. That's dope.
Really though, you know, I've just been thinking like, you know, especially growing up in hip hop culture, there was always this image and perception about, you know, dying before the age of 25 or whatever, you know, just having this like Yolo mindset, you know what I mean? And, you know, like I just realized that like, you know, I think about who I am today and I think about who I was like 10 years ago and then 10 years before that and so on and so forth. And it's like, I've seen so much growth and evolution within my being. Like, you know, certain things fundamentally have remained the same though, but I've definitely evolved in places and spaces I never even dreamed of or thought. So I can only imagine what the next 10 years and so on and so forth looks like, because as you get older, you have more experience. Like you know, you look at life through a different lens. Like, you know, even right now, like I'm at a space where I'm not so, well, I try not to be so reactionary anymore. I try not to be so reactionary. It's more like understanding and being proactive, and it's like, how do I understand like what's going on here? Like what's the psychology behind this? What's this you know, like what like why why are we dealing with what we're dealing with? Like, what are the circumstances, the variables that go into, as opposed to just being pissed off at like the end results? It's like there's so many different things. And also, I think it also goes back to having that kind of like empathy or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And that goes vice versa, like empathy that I would want to receive, and then also give empathy to those as well, and giving space for understanding, even though I know I may not understand everything. There's certain things I just don't mess with. I will never co-sign, but I understand,
Yo, that's mad peace, yo. That is so real, man. I'm with you there, man. And yo, that's a really healthy way to grow, because I mean, nobody on the planet can take in all the knowledge there is to learn here. So I mean, we'll always be, that's the ill statement where they're like, the more you learn, like kind of the smaller your understanding of knowledge is, because you realize like, yo, the more your brain goes up, the more you're capable of perceiving that it's really infinity out there. So you're like, the more your brain grows, the more your understanding of knowledge shrinks. So it's like this.
And I feel like when that happens too, you're also receptive to understand that you can receive knowledge from anywhere. Like you be walking down the street and then some homeless guy just drops a jewel, which they usually do, by the way.
Yes.
Or like a 2-year-old or whatever says something profound, like just, or you know what I mean? Like it just really shifts the perspective, and not being ignorant to be like, okay, well, just because you come from this culture or you're at this particular age or come from this like socioeconomical background, I'm only going to receive you how I perceive. But it's like, nah, man, you can learn so much
from everybody. Yo,
you're open to that, most definitely.
You're so right, yo. I'm really on that. Like everybody, I say in love school that I do here and there. Like I kind of put it on hiatus right now, but like I definitely would like to say that in that place, I was saying everybody is a student and everybody is a teacher at all points in time. And like I had a lot of lessons in education that I wanted to bring to the table, and I worked out some plans, but I was like, there's not a single student here that can't tell me about their love story or tell me about their relationships and have me not learn from them. Like if somebody's never had sex before, and I've had sex thousands of times, I could just talk to them and be like, what's it like to be in your position right now in 2020, never experiencing like human intimacy? And they would say something that my brain cannot even feel anymore, because I'm 30 years out of where they're at.
Right.
And like,
and I think that's I kind of want you to like elaborate more on that, on this like this love school that you speak of, like you creating spaces for understanding, for healing, self-discovery. Why don't you speak a little more and more on that?
Yeah, man, I was doing it on Facebook primarily. I mean, I'd actually done it in Kensington Market. The original love school I did was a 6-week program that I did actually at a yoga studio in Kensington Market, and I had people come there. It was actually a physical location, and we had lessons. We did lessons in touch, lessons in expression, lessons in inner reflection. And I still have all the work. I have all the teaching plans, and I definitely have like a curriculum. I have an internal curriculum for knowledge of self, for expanding one's courage, because that was the core of love school. I actually called it, the original love school was called Love Lessons and Courage Class, because I was like, yo, like whether you're going to war or you're going to romance, the core emotion of that is courage. Right. And I was just like, yo, we live in a world where they don't encourage people to be courageous and honest, because like if you're not being honest, you're not being courageous. Like all liars, you're just a chicken. Like you're just being afraid to show up. So like, and nobody, everybody deals with that. Everybody. So like, if you're telling the truth, you're at least being courageous. And like, I was just trying to promote that. And yo, thanks a lot, Maria. It's like we gonna bring it back. Like I'll kind of end it, like I kind of put it on pause during the pandemic because Facebook was very limiting to me as far as my sexuality and romance. I got a 30-day ban.
You got thrown in Facebook jail.
Yeah, I got thrown in Facebook jail multiple times, man. I was a repeat offender. So
You
I,
know,
I don't use Facebook as much just because it really limits my expression. And
so what platforms do you use, like for more of your like love school teachings and expressions and things of that nature?
For the most part, I'm using Twitter, because
Oh,
Twitter doesn't restrict any physical nudity. It doesn't restrict any it doesn't any restrict any expression that's not hate speech.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and Facebook is owned by, I mean, Instagram is owned by Facebook,
Right.
so
So,
they have a lot of parallel
right,
PG.
right.
So
Okay.
I've got banned off Instagram multiple
So,
times.
so what's your Twitter handle? You know, I mean, if people want to more of that perspective.
Yeah, it's Mindbender Mind at Twitter and Malcolm Lovejoy at Twitter. So yeah, yo, you're so right, Maria. Like, yo, the violent content, the boogaloo shoot 'em up gangs,
Right,
like
right.
they literally would let white supremacists gather on Facebook, but I couldn't show a picture of me from the waist up or show my backside. And
Crazy.
so yeah, like it's like that's one thing. The last point I'll make about this before I drop a really happy jewel is this world, unfortunately, is much more happy to celebrate violence than it is to celebrate love and romance.
Well, yeah, as media always says, like, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. You know what I mean? Because you want to get people in that reactionary mindset, that shock and awe, and there's no healing part. It's just perpetuating trauma and just things like, you know, it's just crazy. You know, like, and then, you know, when you think of these platforms, it serves its purpose. You know, I mean, that's what it is. That's the function of these spaces. So we can't expect them. I mean, we could expect like changes or whatever, but that's not what it's set up for. Like, it's like websites like Six Buzz or whatever. You know, they put out certain content for a reason. You know what I mean? And
no doubt.
But you know, just to kind of like segue off of like, you know, the love school and whatnot. Got some news in hip hop. You know, I know that you brought some stuff up earlier when we were talking about, but I don't know if you want to get into that yet or you want to get into something.
Yeah, I just remembered something right before we get into that, because that's probably, I want to give a good many minutes to that. That's a huge thing.
So that being said, okay, wait, before you go, you say your piece, and I have one more thing I'm going to share, and then we're going to get into that.
Yeah, hit me.
That for like, yeah, okay, go ahead.
So I just wanted to, we didn't talk about this before, but did you hear that they caught the killer for Jam Master Jay's murderer?
Yes.
And I have to talk about that because
yes.
Yeah, like before we get into our other big topic, because that is I've been waiting so many years.
And that was back when, like, early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
yeah, it was either 9 or 13 years ago. It was like
yeah,
it was almost a decade ago, and and it's just heartbreaking. So like it was really, really wonderful to see that. Like I have no justice in the North American police system, but I was like, at least some cops gave a damn about a black man's life and like captured a cold case that's been sitting on ice for many years.
Right.
So it's really, really good to see them catch Jam Master Jay's killer. I'm pretty sure that it's like, it seems like it's the right guy. They were the suspects that they had originally a long time ago. And they were just apparently, the crazy thing is that they were apparently very connected to Def Jam Records. And I saw a picture of the guy that is allegedly, but I don't think it's alleged, but the guy who's Jam Master Jay's killer has a picture where he's sitting on LL Cool J's lap wearing LL Cool J's gold rope chain. He's like a hip hop dude that was like connected to JMJ and that close to hip hop history, where as a child he grew up with LL.
Okay, wow.
And it's like super wow.
I'm gonna have to take in those articles on it, you know, because I really just saw the headlines and I was like, yo, that's crazy, you know, but I didn't know the details. That's wild.
Yeah, it's like it's like a family affair, like, you know, black sheep of the family kind of thing, like family. And like, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it was like Jam Master Jay was getting into selling drugs because he wasn't getting any money from the culture. He was getting disrespected. So unfortunately, he was. It looks like he was like. Yeah, he's like, I'm not getting money from Run DMC or anything. I got to start selling some coke, and then like the coke deal it was like one of his homies that he grew up with that ended up shooting him, and it's like,
wow,
so tragic, man. But I'm glad they caught the killer of J&J. Yeah,
let's go, man. Okay, so before we get into our main topic that we were discussing, I'm like, man, this is some crazy news. I got to big up Jessie Reyez, man. She performed at the the NBA game. It was Toronto. Who were they playing again? I was
Brooklyn Nets, I think.
Right, the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, big up, big up. And this was something that was unique, man, because she actually sang the national anthem on the top of the CN Tower. Like, how they do that skywalk. Yeah, I mean, I'd never do that in my life, but that's crazy that she did that. I think that was a pretty epic move. Like, what a way to, kind of bring back, like the vibe and just, come in with a bang. You know what I mean? So I actually want to play a bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to play the American side. I mean, because she is wearing a Breonna Taylor, what do you call it, like bandana or something like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So let's see what we got here.
That was the dopest part for me.
Let me get this popping.
Yes, Jessie Reyez. Shout out Junior T.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare,
I hate this line.
bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing though, but those who can definitely check it out.
No doubt. Jessie Reyez. Jessie Reyez is amazing.
Top of the CN Tower, man. Like, I don't know if you've ever been up there, man, but that's hella high. It's hella high, man. And to be like, singing on key and all that, and it's crazy. But also like the fact that she took a knee as well. You know what I mean? That was a nice touch as well. You know what I mean?
That's the part. That's the part. That's the part. She's like, yo, if I'm gonna sing these anthems, I'm gonna sing them on my knee, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Breonna Taylor. That was real, and that's about one of the illest anthems. I don't really fuck with anthems at all. I like to sit down during anthems, but I'm like, every time I hear that American anthem, I'm like, you're talking about bombs in your anthem, yo. What's up with that, yo? Like, at least be like Canada talking about fake peace and fake peace. Right. But anyways,
it's a pretty violent song, and I know that like the anthem has like other verses to it that are like really racist, like. But the anthem is only showing like the first verse, but there's more to that song. But that's a whole other story, though. Yeah,
not surprising at all.
Not surprising at all. You know what I mean? But that's what's up. But big up, Jessie Reyez. Big up Junior T, like you mentioned before, man. Jessie Reyez, official DJ. Junior T's been a brother. Incredible artist. Like he put out an album, Studio Monk. That's like been getting a lot of great reviews and what have you. You know what I mean?
And it got nominated on the shortlist for Polaris.
There we go.
Yeah. I hope it goes all the way.
That's peace.
So But let's go in.
All right. So before, so we were talking about Jaguar Wright, and I guess like why don't you break down who she is, because I'm embarrassed to say that I'm just like when I did my research, I saw where I've seen her, but I wasn't really in tune in terms of who she is and where she's been around and her depth in the hip hop game.
Well, don't even worry about that though, because if anybody knows Jaguar Wright, they'll just know her as, well, not just know her, but they'll know her as, hey, whatever happened to?
Right.
Because I've seen the Roots in concert more than anybody I've ever seen. I've seen the Roots 21 times, and I've been watching the Roots I've been listening to the Roots since 1992 or so. I've got like almost 30 years of history. So like anybody who's a fan of the Roots, do you know that over time there was like they bring in a like, hey, what happened to Rozelle? Hey, what happened to Jaguar Wright? What happened to Ursula Rucker? What happened to Leonard Hubbard? Like they brought in certain people, they brought in certain singers, and then there's this, and then they would disappear.
Right.
So like Jaguar Wright, like she hasn't been singing with the Roots for like many like 5 or 6 albums.
Right.
Like the whole Jimmy Fallon era, she has not been around. She was around in like the late 90s.
Right.
I think the last thing that she did around OK Play, she made up the term OK Player. Like she was the original OK Player. So that's what Jaguar Wright is to that whole crew. So like she was the original OK Player. She like helped set up the website. She sang on I think she sang on Common's Like Water for Chocolate. That's one of the last things she did at the crew. And then she also sang on Jay-Z's Unplugged album. She like blew it away. Everyone knows her for the live Unplugged.
Also, she's also like a dope MC as well. You know, like I saw this quick clip, and I encourage anyone to like look up Jaguar Wright. Incredible black woman, just so much integrity. She was talking about like her hip hop, whatever, being like influenced by like Organized Confusion, and how she had like a hip hop crush on Pharoah Monch because he was just that dude, like lyrically or whatever. So like she dropped this verse or whatever, and I was like, yo, this is some serious bars, straight out of Philly, you know what I mean? But definitely, that being said, I actually have a video that I would like to play here. It's like her performing live with the Roots. Let me see if I can just add this on here.
Please do, because
hold on, let me play this real quick, man. I had to bring this up because I was like, this is cool. Let's see what we got here.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, we got
what you want.
Let's see here.
Face the lies, all this swallow from the bitter taste. Well, that's a point in the past that can't be erased. So motivate, focus hard to let it ride, or set aside true feelings, underpaid feelings, or lost trust. I wonder if we lost us. It's bigger than just rock, it's more stress. I'ma just calm down and try to relax before clap. Don't ever let on ever clap. It's time to hold you. Come on, y'all, yes. Come on.
Yeah, just to give a little vibe. Yeah.
The realness. But so on my birthday, I woke up and Jaguar Wright had come out with a video, and it just destroyed the entire neo soul movement more than anything ever has done ever since whenever it started. If you want to count the Black Star album or Common's first album or Roots or whoever you think started, like the core of most of the idea of conscious, the other conscious hip hop movement that wasn't the native tongues.
Right.
Literally, like one of the biggest crews, OK Player, the Soulquarians, she came out and she dusted all of them off. Revealed things that she's been sitting on for many, many years, and just shocked me. And like I never knew that Common would stick his dick in her face like that. But Common, she came out with pure integrity and honesty and passion and righteous rage. She said, Common, you did this to me on a tour bus. You put me in an uncomfortable position, and I'm calling you out for it. I've held my mouth for many years, but I feel like saying this today. She has every right to do that. And Common has not said not a single word. Has not denied it. Not came out and said she's lying. Nothing. Just total irresponsibility. And I'm like, yo, this is somebody in your crew. Not to say that even if it was a random girl from random anywhere in America, but like, if that was the case, it would be his word, he said, she said, and it would be difficult. And it's like, hey, break down the details. But Jaguar already broke down the details, and and Common said nothing. So how did you feel when you first saw like what she was saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a disappointment, you know. I mean, it goes back to this whole like, you know, image of like perfection, but then meanwhile, it's like other things are happening behind the scenes, and you know, like you said, like the whole neo soul movement, that was like, presented as like a conscious movement, you know, like you wouldn't expect these kinds of like, you know, attributes coming from people like that who and what they represented, you know, that whole movement and stuff. So hearing it's really like, you know, disturbing and.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm curious to know like any kind of like restorative justice or something that could be like, you know what, because I understand, you know, people can, you know, make mistakes or whatever the case and evolve and grow or whatever the case. But like, I'm really interested in to see that, like, you know, what levels of accountability can take place, you know, no matter how uncomfortable things can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And but like I said, like, you know, when I first heard this, and I believe every word she says, by the way. Like how she spoke it and like, you know, it's like you said, that righteous rage is coming from a place of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes truth is destructive. You know what I mean? Sometimes truth just comes like a tornado and clears the path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, with these people, like, you know, when you're not really getting any responses back, it's because it's like, well, when truth stands by itself. It doesn't need no cosign.
Doesn't need, yeah, for real. And I also am like, if nothing else, these guys don't have anything to say except the apologies that they're not ready to say yet. I'm like, yo, man. I'm like, yo, dog, if you really did this and somebody calls you out and you don't say anything, I'm going to consider you guilty. If you were like rolling with this person and you were crew at some point and like, and then and they speak with such, like it comes from a real place. She's like, yo, like the start of this is me being like, she was like, Malik B died and Questlove, where is the tribute? Black Thought, where's the tribute? Like, OK Player, where's the tribute? This is a founding member of the crew. Like, anybody who knows, she said something very interesting where she was like, those guys were nerds and Malik B was the street. He was the Philadelphia street dude that gave the Roots the credibility, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of pretty true. Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay. I mean, you can really see those intersections and whatnot.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Black Thought and Questlove met at an art school, and like, it's not to say that art school people don't have power and can't kick ass or whatever, but and it's not even to like reduce somebody's greatness to how much ass they can kick, but it's just like, yo, if you're exploiting somebody else for their integrity or their authenticity or their street pedigree, and you use that to take you to higher levels. Jaguar was like, the Roots used Malik B to get them to the point of putting out Things Fall Apart, and then they won their Grammy, and then they're out of here. So, and then he wasn't really around, definitely around phrenology and stuff like that. So
yeah,
he hasn't been there for the last 10, 15 years. So she just, I mean, she started with Malik B and was like, you guys are not respecting a fundamental guy's death in your crew. And
though, you know, it's like, what is that? You know, why all like the silence? And then you mentioned, like, I was trying to find, like, the clip that you sent me was amazing, by the way, but I think it was like an hour long, and I wasn't able to find the specific part where you mentioned that she said something to the lines of, like, you know, like the Roots being silent on like R. Kelly, like what was happening with R. Kelly, and then you know, I'm gonna let you explain it because to me, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But I was trying to find that clip, but I know it's within that hour piece.
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah, she doesn't go on too long about it, but she very much reveals that she was in studio sessions with the Roots and stuff, and R. Kelly would be around, and like some other young black girls would be around too, and she would be like, "What's going on here? There's young girls here," and she said that members of the Roots would say, yo, don't blow up this spot. Don't fuck with it. This man makes us a lot of money. Don't just don't say anything.
Wow.
And it's like, yo, that's fucking horrific. So, and then she doubled down and pretty much verified it when she was like, when they were doing the Surviving R. Kelly video, the documentary, Questlove was notoriously one of the people who did not want to speak on it. And some people they were saying like, yo, you might have worked with R. Kelly in the past in just various capacities. Can you speak on it? And he's like, no, I'm not talking. And it's like, why are you not talking? Because you defended it 10 years ago. And then she ended it off by being like, everybody knew about Aaliyah. And then post Aaliyah, the whole underage thing happening, but everybody kept it quiet. And then the last thing she said, which was mind-blowing, was R. Kelly was the first corporate-sponsored pedophile in America.
Whoa. Hold on. Yo.
Boom.
Yo.
That's how real Jaguar is. And I'm like, if Jaguar's honesty and integrity and desire to defend Black bodies, men, women, and children, if she's the new level, then she's the new fucking level. She's the new Harriet. Fuck all these other dudes defending R. Kelly. I don't care how dope your newest song is.
Yeah, and you know what? And I feel like we really got to, like, you know, stand up and be, you know, side by side with Black women, especially when they're speaking up on these topics and stuff. And I feel like those platforms aren't amplified enough. You know, it's just kind of like whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like us as Black men definitely need to create those spaces and support however we can and keep these conversations going. You know, because this kind of connects with what you're talking about with Talib Kweli now. You know, some things that are coming up.
Oh, you know? Man. Yeah, and it's going to come up again because oh my God, it's getting so messy and ugly.
I head around it as well. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you can give like the Cole's Notes version. Just like
I'm going to give like a 3 or 4 minute version because Talib Kweli has been one of my top 10 teachers in my life. One of my great guides. He's literally taught me more than my own flesh and blood father. And since my birthday on August 4th, Talib Kweli has been on I mean, that's when it came out that he was doing some really, really unfortunate shit.
Right.
But he is now in day 41 of stalking a Black woman named Money Maya online and harassing her and doxing her and just turning her life into a living hell because she tried to bring up a topic of colorism and sexuality and sexism in hip hop. And there's a lot of things I won't say right now, but Talib is just it's really fucked up. He got kicked off of Twitter, first and foremost. And I would talk to him on there occasionally.
Right.
Got kicked off of Twitter, and he's now on Facebook and Instagram continuing the campaign against this Black woman.
Right.
So it's just really sad what it's come down to. And like the long story short of what I want to say about all of these dudes is, I mean, it applies to everybody, but it definitely applies to hip hop. Like, I got love for these people. I got love for Common. I got love for the Roots. I got love for Talib Kweli. I have no love for their abusive behavior.
Facts.
So it's like, Common, I can love you still, but every single abusive thing that you've done, I want you to take responsibility for. I want you to show up and tell your truth. I want you to be like, if I did it, I am going to stop these patterns and I will not continue again. Talib Kweli, I love you, dog, but if you're harassing a Black woman, your behavior is bad and horrible, and please break that pattern. We can, like, once you address that, like, it's not about casting you away and burning all your music, whatever. Like, that's not the first solution that I want to go to. It's just the behavior needs to stop. The abuse needs to stop.
Yeah, no, I resonate with that, you know, very well, and that's why I'm really interested in like these like restorative justice spaces and just like how to work through this, you know, because we all are experiencing our own traumas and for whatever ways, you know, and as they say, like hurt people, and there's so many different variables as to like what is happening, you know. But I think like just turning a blind eye and just like, you know, like pretending like things are okay doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? Like as we grow and as we evolve, and you know, people like us who are invested in hip hop, we're invested in the culture. It's a community, it's a family to us, and sometimes there's going to be, you know, family beef. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we're going to stop loving each other. It doesn't mean we're going to stop like showing up for each other and all that, you know? So I think like there needs to be more spaces like that created, you know? And yeah, man, but again, just hearing all these things like, you know, coming up and, going back to Kweli, like I'm really interested in and curious to know, like, what is his main thing? Like what triggered him to like keep going at this woman on Twitter? Just there's something like he wants her to apologize for something. Maybe you can clarify what that is. And he's just going off of that and won't stop on any account until he gets this like apology. Like there's like she needs to bow down essentially in some case. And
that's essentially what he's saying, that she needs to apologize for saying like accusing him of being like a colorist and being misogynist, leaning towards wanting to be with lighter skinned women. That was the original conversation. And then in the mix, there was also an accusation that Kweli was a child rapist, which is the most extreme. It's harsh and all fucked up right now. And there's no name, there's no person, there's no actual event, but a couple people have been saying, some people have accused Kweli of that. And I don't know if he's just infuriated by being accused of that, which is why he won't stop. It's very convoluted and confusing. But I know if I was accused of being a child rapist, I would simply be like, I didn't do it.
Right. And
like I would move on. I wouldn't spend 41 days fighting the accusation if I know in my heart that I didn't do it. I would say I didn't do it. If you are going to accuse me of this, one, I think you're a very dangerous person. Like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I love that saying. I'm like, yo, you don't call me a child rapist. Where, when, how, why? If not, then I'm not going to even sweat it, because that's like somebody calling you a murderer or a fucking Loch Ness monster, or just saying something weird about you. Like, you gotta prove some of the shit you say on the internet, dogs. Like, if not, then you don't take some of these people seriously. Sure. But Talib apparently takes this girl this woman very seriously, and is replying to some of the stuff, and also is not denying some of the other dark accusations about him, which is why these are the worst days ever to be a Talib Kweli fan.
What are some other things like your?
It's very weird. I mean, I do porn, so one of the things that came out is that Talib Kweli is now broken up with his wife. That was the light-skinned wife that he was accused of. Like, there were 17 rappers that were all accused of being with light-skinned wives. Right. And the girl just wanted to be like, one day we'll have a conversation about colorism in hip hop. Right. And it's like, it's
by the way, to say one day we'll have I think that's an important conversation. That's a fair thing to say, especially to like a rapper, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, you can have a constructive criticism. Nobody's judging people. It's like, we're all like, every light-skinned person is a victim of the slave master's rape at some point in the history. We're not judging people for being light-skinned. We're just talking about, in the context of white supremacy, like darker skinned people just get treated shittier. That's just a fact. Like, we're like, and like, nobody chooses whose body gets what color skin. Like, we're not. It's just facts. Right. So like, And then nobody's even saying like your relationship is bad just because you're with a light-skinned woman. Jay-Z and Beyonce is fucking literally Black Barbie, like a black woman with white features. Yeah. She's been with Jay-Z over a decade. Like, Jay-Z only cheated once. But I'm saying, like, all of this to say, I wanted to, like, you said something I really wanted to touch on, and like, I don't know if Talib is hurt, but he's kind of talking like he's hurt. But when you said hurt people, I did want to bring it up because I agree with Maria. R. Kelly is disgusting, but R. Kelly should be in jail. But if any, like, people who study it, like, R. Kelly actually was abused as well. That doesn't justify the fucking many dozens of people and the fact that he pissed on a 14-year-old girl. Fuck, he should be in jail. But it's just like, you just have to acknowledge hurt people do hurt people, and he was abused too. So I'm like, I want all of these people to heal.
No doubt, man. And that is the goal, like creating space for healing to work through this, and something that we've been deprived of for like mad years, like in the name of just like resiliency and just going through things. You know, we just got to keep going. you know. But right now, I feel like it's really time to like kind of slow down and give space to that. You know, just like I mentioned in the beginning of our segment, you know, just being reflective and just reanalyzing. Like I think it's so important to give space to that. So many of us don't have those kind of spaces. You know, where we feel safe enough to be that vulnerable. You know what I mean? It's,
that's really it, man. And like they don't exist barely anywhere for anybody. Like
exactly.
Like rich, poor, black, white, Asian, like.
Well, guess what, man? We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kinds of things that we're creating right now. And I know you've been thinking on those spaces for a long time. That's why you have the Love School and so many other endeavors, and just really creating that space, man. And we're doing it. So
we're doing it, man. And I thank you, man, because like this is really helping me to get on track. Like I really look forward to doing this every week. It's like the Toronto Black CNN for me, man. Like reasoning with you, it always.
And the thing is, yeah, we're just getting started with this. Like we just flow. Like we haven't even invited a bunch of guests. Like we're connected to so many different people and different perspectives and stories that can be shared. You know, so right now this is just like an organic flow. We just vibing. You know, just building up. You know, the foundation organically, and yeah, man, it's definitely going to be exciting, man. As we reminisce, man, most definitely.
You said, and like as you suggested before, I'm gonna pull out the goodie bag. But as you said before, I want to interview Jaguar one day, man. That would be amazing. I've interviewed Talib Kweli.
Out there, man. Put it out there in the universe, man.
Yes, Jaguar. Yo, we would love to talk to you on the Reminisce Show. Like
that might need to be like a 2-hour interview, like straight up, like.
Oh man, we going in if we get Jaguar. Oh my god. Yo, I'm gonna send her this episode, man, because like I've been a fan. I loved her, and she was always one of the ones that was like, yo, whatever happened? Like, there's not anybody who's been a Roots fan is like, there's enough artists who are like, yo, what happened to them? Like, what happened? What happened to Dice Row? What happened to Rozelle? Why did Rozelle?
Yeah, that's
what happened to Rozelle? You guys had the world's best beatboxer, and then he just like disappeared. What happened?
Facts.
And it's like, yo, you had this, like, Jaguar Wright was before Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Jaguar Wright was like one of the first, like that clip you showed, they were mad young.
Right? Yeah.
Mad young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say on that was like Jaguar revealed, she goes, yo, these guys are very masculine centric and very macho and very and like, anybody who knows anything about the Roots, if you look at a lot of Roots pictures, if you look at them, what do you see? You see 7 men. You see 5 men. You see 2 men. Like the Roots is always about dudes. It's like a boys club, jazz boys club.
Jazz boys club. I see that.
Yeah, and they're mad cool. They're all talented. They're like the hip hop's best band, but the Roots have never been really like woman friendly.
It's a secret society. Yo, we ask this trust.
Straight up. And like, and the sad thing about it is that when Jaguar comes out and says this stuff, all of these other pieces come together, and you're like, actually, yeah.
Right.
Why would you only work with Erykah Badu like on 1 or 2 songs when you did You Got Me and won a Grammy with her? Like, like even like Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, even like the best singers, you don't even fuck with women. Like, what's up with y'all? Like, you guys don't like women a lot. Like, you don't respect women.
And these are like powerful Black women too. It's not just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. Like there's something there to explore. You know, as my grandfather would say, you never see smoke without fire. You know what I mean? So
you know it.
No, man, you got the goodie bag.
Yes.
You got drum roll, please. North by Northeast.
Yeah, Run and Man. That's all.
Yeah, North by Northeast. Okay. Is that like a hip hop flyer? Because North by Northeast has all different kinds of like music.
Oh shit! Peep it, yo.
What the official hip hop showcase? Okay.
Elder Sensei, Soul Khan.
Okay.
Yo, man, they brought Elder Sensei here. Yo,
okay. 2014.
That's right. Weldon Park. Yo, I didn't even see that one. I've seen SoulCon. I've seen El Sensei in SoulCon. I'm pretty sure Artifacts came for one of the Elemental shows. Elemental,
man. I got fond memories of Elemental, man. The comfort zone that no longer exists.
that
Places are gone, man.
No longer exists, yo. Oh man, yo. So yeah, man. I don't know if I was gonna dig in for another one.
What you got there? What is that?
Oh shit! I don't know if it wasn't a concert, but do you remember these days?
Play the record. Oh yes. The 1 hour workshops.
Yes. When Play D started bringing in stuff, yo. Shout out to Play D forever.
That was it. I remember going to Play D, like looking at records, and I still think they don't even own turntables. I would just go there because it was like the hip hop thing to do. Just I was looking at the covers and playing, like hearing songs and just seeing stuff. You know what I mean? So Play the Record was always like the spot to like go to and just chill out, get mixtapes, buy tickets for concerts. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it was totally a home away from home, straight up.
There was Play the Record, and there was wasn't there like another record place?
What, Tracks up the street?
Yes.
Tracks. Yeah.
Tracks. Yes. There's more up the street though.
Yeah. It was just south of College.
Yes, just south of College before Gerard. Yeah.
I think it's the Amato's Pizza now. I think it's there.
Yeah. Good old days, man. Young Street, man.
Young Street. Oh yeah.
Oh man, what you know about the Dundas shopping mall, yo?
Dundas, man. Yo, I want pictures to come out of that. Like that.
I haven't been able to see. I haven't seen much. Like I've tried to research like certain eras, and I found like one picture that shows the Dundas shopping mall, but like nothing more. There should have been like a documentary on that, man.
There should have been a documentary, man. The flea market in there where you just walk in and you walk around, like, yo, it was just so down low. Like you don't have that anymore. It was,
man, what you need?
Yeah, for real, like that, like that. That was when Young and Dundas was like old school New York Times Square.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like they just really cleaned up Young and it's cool.
It's cool now. Yeah. Word, man. Well, that's what it is. That's what we do, man. On Reminisce, man. We go down memory lane, connect with the past, present, and the future, man. All of the traditions of St. Kofa, man. So we always got to keep it alive, keep it with Africa. And we gonna get back, man. We're gonna get back, man. You know what I'm saying? So if we go physically, we go mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, just to be fair, I don't even know if I should do this or if I'm gonna get in trouble, but I don't give a fuck, man. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna surprise you, all right? This is just really quick, and I'm just gonna play something, okay?
What you got, man?
Speaking of Africa, just to be very fair, this one goes out for our brother that I hope finds some healing. This is the new Talib Kweli single. This is an exclusive.
We have come from the sands of antiquity to the pavement of modernity, across seas of doubt and oceans of resistance. To know us is to know God. African, very African. How interesting, you all want to be black again. Try to imagine if instead of all that cap your lips, you slapping when you spit about our condition before, during, and after shit is happening. Giving you nothing but the true facts. Grassroots rap to cut you loose from your bootstraps. Who's that? That all your heroes is bowing to, giving you permission to be here. I'm allowing you. Welcome to the culture, essentially immature. Got an expert, got perspective that's never been seen by your eyes. The love for these devils is on sight. We went from more fries to keeping our fingers all up in your pies. The more cries rattle the Taurus. They scared of all of us, scared to go verses. So fuck it, let's go choruses and wet it up so you underwater like your mortgages. Plus, what a bus is tougher than Tuscarawas. We are the rational and the reasonable reactions to a crazy world. Know us by our works.
Yeah.
All right.
I to be totally fair, I was man, I'm disappointed in Talib Kweli, but I'm still making space for him, and I'm still I love you, brother. I want you to check yourself. I want you to not harass black women, even if you disagree with some of them. And if he called you something and you don't like, just keep it moving, brother.
Yeah.
I'm still listening. But also, if you do something wrong, fuck the wrong bullshit you're doing. And if there's a whole bunch of the last thing I will say that it will come on this situation that like hasn't been fully confirmed yet, but it has been put out there, and Talib didn't even apparently deny it. The new Black Star album is done. And anybody who's been doing research, they know that the Black Star album is done. It's produced by Madlib, and they've been talking about it for a while. But Amor Erica, the sister who's been dropping all these jewels and fucking revelations on Talib's poor choices,
Right.
she said that Talib Kweli was stealing money from the lawyer that negotiated the Black Star album. So that's the reason that the new Black Star album's not going to come out. And I was like, yo, if that's true, that's heartbreaking as fuck. And I don't want you to be stealing from your own fucking lawyers. Brother, if that's true, that's horrible.
Yeah.
If it's not true, I want to hear a Black Star album and I want the truth to be known. But like, if that is true, we gotta check our
there's a lot of housekeeping, man, you know, and I think this is just a metaphor just for ourselves, for hip hop, man. Like, you know, there's a lot of housekeeping that we got to do and figure out what to do. What can we do moving forward?
What can we do? Yeah.
How do we go into like a state of like prevention? Like, how do we prevent these things from happening? You know, like what can we learn from it now so that history doesn't repeat, that we don't keep, you know, making the same mistakes?
No doubt. We can't. Yeah, exactly. Word to Sankofa and Reminisce, man. You don't know your past, you don't know your future. And
Shay. I think that's a great way to end right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Thank you for listening, man.
Yo, we'll keep speaking up. We'll keep creating space for dialogue and understanding, and that's what we got to do as Black men in society. You know, we got to like help to change the narrative, and we're doing that in real time. You know what I mean? Piece by piece, brick by brick. You already know what it is.
You already
know, man. On the Reminisce Show, man. We'll see y'all next week, Tuesday. Signing off, man. Logik416, Mindbender, Supreme, man. You already know what it is.
Love to all y'all. All right.
Man, every time.
All right, man.
Right, man. We out of here, man. Peace.